what happens when we don't have good posture, and how that relates to movement. So I'm going to put my massage therapist hat on, and what what we can think about with our body is that our muscles are pulleys and our bones are levers. So the simplest bicep curl, the bicep is the pulley for the lever of the femur or the humerus. So in that relation, we can talk about how if we're here, all of this is shortened and tight, and in the back, it's also tight because it's getting stretched out, but it's not able to function properly. So that's where we can get nervy type pain or just really tight muscles that don't relax by stretching because they're already in a really stretched out position. So stretching them further doesn't help. So that's where movement can be really beneficial, and doing balance type work like yoga where you're doing opposing poses. So when we have the most common posture that we see is this forward, and I'm a good example of it. We do so much in front of us that we tend to go like this, and then when we're running we go like this, and then that actually closes off our breathing. So if we're thinking about the diaphragm breathing, for that to really be able to expand and open and work the best, we need to be pretty upright. And that means the rib cage is this direction and the pelvis is this direction, so that then the diaphragm can go like this to be at its most open and full. So you can imagine that if our rib cage is like this, our diaphragm can't get full contraction. Or alternatively, if our pelvis is like this, that is going to make it really hard to pull everything together and get the full breath down into our pelvis. So in terms of movement, it's going to be the same. So whether we're on the bike here, if we're like this, that's going to be hard to breathe and get a full diaphragm breath in. Like that feels super restricted in the back. And then if we're running, if we're here, that also makes it really hard to get a full breath. So in the next time that you're out doing something, play around with finding where those little points on you are. So using Tadasana as kind of a check-in point throughout your activity can be really beneficial. So you can just think, where are my shoulders? Or where, for me, as I mentioned, like where's my rib cage? Where's my sternum? The sternum should be leading, which feels a little bit vulnerable sometimes, but just being nice and open here so that you can get that full breath. So try it out. Let us know how it goes. And we will start talking more about movement next week. But all this breath stuff is super foundational for everything else we're going to talk about. The diaphragm links to the core muscles, and so that's the very basic way that we can start engaging our core and really give us support, which will be what we talk about in the next 3 weeks. You've made it so far. I hope your breath is feeling more full. Have a good weekend.